Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Today we're having a 1 vs 1 on Sturzdorf. Yes, indeed, we will be having a little return to Sturzdorf. We've certainly been seeing quite a bit of late, but I'm getting a lot of cast trouble. A lot of them are sort of the mundane novice fight stuff. The others are 2 vs 2s, and the trouble is a lot of those 2 vs 2s are, at least as of late, rather one-sided, which I don't really feel is very entertaining in the long run. So I'm sort of going through all the archives, trying to find what I can, and of course, again, I'd rather suggest, of course, people keep sending me in replays no matter what, because yes, I might not cast it right away, but again, sometimes I can end up getting a ridiculous amount of casts replays during 1 week. I mean, in one case, I've gotten 40 during 1 week. That's absolutely no way I can just do that, and of course, there's all the filtering processes, which are good, which are not so good, which can I cast, which can't I cast, all that. So of course it all gets a bit complicated. And I certainly imagine there's some that are saying right now, well, I sent you one in and you didn't cast it. Well, again, there could be all sorts of reasons. I might actually have missed it. I might have decided your opponent was utter rubbish. I might have decided you was utter rubbish. And of course I apologize if you don't feel like that, but I have to sort of stick to one thing. And of course there might be another bunch of reasons perhaps I've seen that match mapped too many times, that type of match too many times, or something else. I mean, there's a lot of things I have to try and keep in mind when I cast, which some people don't seem to be quite aware of. Nonetheless, again, I sort of encourage you all to keep sending in casts. Of course, in particular now it's a bit of a dry season, so of course I'm hoping to sort of drive up as many. Of course, I'm also trying to pull in at any contact I know of, but not quite much happening there either, I'm afraid. But who shall be fighting? Well, right here in the southern corner, we are seeing Baileys. Yes, indeed, Baileys fighting for the American 4th Infantry Division, going up against MasterofPlans. Yes, indeed, a most ominous sounding man, although we also know him as Tommy Gaga, aka Air Reloaded, if I'm not mistaken, fighting for the 2nd Panzer Division in this case. MasterofPlans. What plans? I don't know. Silly plans, good plans, fun plans, cake plans? Who knows? But let's get in fact right down to this. Wehrmacht quarters going up here for MasterofPlans. Bags up here so far, nothing unusual. But again, send in replays. Always send them in. I mean, if you think they're interesting, and of course, instruction at the sort of the end of this episode, of course, which cast I'm sort of trying to now doing where you can find them, what sort of details you might want provide, and of course, a sort of a rule of thumb where is this a bit too one-sided, might be sort of to be actually look through the replay at 8 speed, and of course note how much of the map does your opponent actually take. I mean, does he actually ever manage to hold about the equal thing as you? More, less? I mean, if he actually holds more and you actually sort of manage to fight back, yes, then it can actually be interesting. If, on the other hand, he only has about half and then it quickly falls to less than that for a large part of the game, perhaps not quite as much. In particular, I'm getting quite a few of those again on the 2 vs 2, because again, it only takes one going for the heavy support, being terrible at it, and then everything is falling apart. But spreading out here so far rather slow. Wehrmacht start. Americans on the other hand are going straight for the east, going for the munitions and fuel. Will be interesting to see how that one works out. Rifle squad on point. So again, just keep sending in replays. There can be a ton of reasons why I never actually get around to casting it if it doesn't get casted. None of them might actually be as straightforward as you like to think they are, but Fullscreen is out there from MasterofPlans. He's hanging about there. Rifleman moving towards the center. Could be a huge fight off right there in the beginning. Or it couldn't be. Could also be very quiet. Rifleman advancing. Hanging up there at the barracks. Then, no. Going for the strategic point while the Volkskriegseinheits move towards the east. And what are they doing? They're laying down barbed wire. That's interesting. And now coming up, opening up, and the engineers rifle moving in for the flank, although a bit of cover there protecting the full sky here, so a nice position for them. Riflemen don't care about that, they just flank about, or at least try to flank about, or perhaps they just ignore the full sky, forcing the full sky out of the cover if they actually want to react. And it looks like he's being very aggressive. He's moving into Wehrmacht territory, and MG42 on the way. Oh dear, it could be caught unawares. He's taking up position right there in the vehicle pit. And the riflemen make it away. MG42 setting up while they're doing what the riflemen are doing. They seem a bit indecisive. Come on, riflemen, decide what you want to do. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. And Volkswagen is taking up there. Some more riflemen moving in. Volkswagen is still in somewhat heavy cover. Rifleman in the middle of the road. Not really the best of positions. Rifleman sneaking about here, avoiding the MG42. In fact, dodging it. Looks like, oh, they might be going straight for the medium munitions point. Very aggressive, very bold, very harassing. Right here from Bailey. He's getting awfully close to the Wehrmacht base at the moment. More riflemen on the way. Points being taken here in the east. Doing quite the job of keeping the Wehrmacht occupied and not really at the same time doing anything. So very interesting approach as of yet so far. Oh, these riflemen could be moving out. Volkswagen's going for the victory point and catching the MG42 out in the open. Will they be able to rush it? Will they be able to get behind it before the MG42? Oh no, they didn't quite, and now they are easy targets right in front of it. Gunners firing away. Volkswagen's moving in as well to support. Riflemen forced away. Munitions point here being held by the Americans, and it's just barely connected. Very found that engineers and pioneers fighting over here by some crates and all that. Here the fighting continues by the Konstruktionsmechanics. Warner, mein Gott. MG42 opening up on some other riflemen. Riflemen make it back, although these riflemen could in fact sneak up behind on the MG42. Then again, Volkswagen are moving in perhaps to intercept, to put a stop to that. Don't like those MG42s getting flanked. So far it would indicate 3 Volkswagen teams in fact now for MasterofPlans. Sorry, a bit exhausted I'm afraid. A bit tired. Riflemen and Volkswagen is facing off right here. But the vehicle pit riflemen are not looking well. They need to retreat. Only one man running. The Volkswagen is flying away with the Kar-98Ks and the Sturmgewehr 44. Pioneers with flamethrowers now moving in. It's actually looking a bit grim for the Americans. Then again, over here, they all seem to be doing alright. Volkswagen and Pioneers facing off against the Riflemen. The Riflemen a bit in a bad position now. Actually, the Pioneers actually aiding quite a bit up close. And the Riflemen, in fact, taking quite some damage, some losses. Looks like further forces of MasterofPlans sneaking in through here. Looks like the American forces could get pincered off.
Grenades have arrived.
And grenades have arrived. A quick counter move. Oh, he drops it too short. He hoped to perhaps, draw the German player in, that he would continue hunting him down. Instead, he stopped up. And so what would have been otherwise a good move in case of a moving, formation actually ended up just wasting 25 munitions. That was less great. Of course, he could still get one off here. He could knock it off. At least Volkswagen perhaps even kill them. But no, instead they do manage to get away. Still a grenade, not a bad thing for rifleman teams to engineer teams. Of course, at the same time, it's obviously alerted MasterofPlans, but I don't think he really cared. He pretty much just went for what I believe is his rather standard build order, which is 3 Volkswagen teams and 2 MG42 teams. He swears to me this is a pretty good approach for him, at least. We all have sort of different approach, and it's rather versatile in terms of, starting can do quite a bit of damage to riflemen, and if he goes for BARs, of course, he's certainly not going to be having any advantages with that either, at least. I mean, certainly going to be able to put up enough firepower, of course, against the M8, though you can run into a bit of problem then again. Then you're rather hoping that, of course, the approach you've got to have managed to bleed the American with enough manpower to actually ensure that a faster mate is not quite as viable. But taking up positions here, really going in and hoping, in fact, to perhaps cut him off. That's certainly an interesting move. It doesn't quite seem to be working. Americans swiftly counterattacking. We could be seeing a grenade here. Yes, indeed, grenade right amongst all the lumber. Mine hits. Oh dear. Rifleman charging in. Volkswagen retreating. Pioneers retreating as well. A swift counterattack by Bailey's did force things around for MasterofPlans. And a mine here, of course, which has been set off earlier. MG42 moving in. Quite a few mines by Bailey's, but apparently not enough. Supply going up, so we are obviously not going to be seeing a BAR approach from Mr. Bailey's, I suspect. He might just have gone for grenades. Of course, that's a bit cheaper in terms of fuel, and of course can be quite well. Again, a lot of players don't really seem to use them. I mean, I really could encourage it much more.
Initiating defensive operations.
Although one should still be careful with them. A bit of mining there, so of course the infantry approach from Bailey's. Supply it almost up, going to help with upkeep, going to help a bit with veterans in the long run with some upgrades. Troops retreating. American have been forced a bit back by so far the forces of the 2nd Panzer Division. Although so far it's only been sort of Volksgrenadiers doing most of the fighting with some MG42 and Pioneers. Although Kriegbergs are now going up for MasterofPlans. Another surge in the east. Riflemen sneaking about in the east as well. And other riflemen sneaking about here and there where they can get away with sneaking. A bit quiet. Perhaps too quiet? No, not really. I think. Well, let's speed this up a bit. There we go, taking points right here in the east. Going for the cutoff point at the same time. And the fuel point might have left some troops actually act as a bit of a security unit right here. Some sandbags and then thus cover. Riflemen running into the MG42. Volksguns quickly moving in. Riflemen retreating. Pushing on in the west though. Good, good. Keeping the enemy occupied elsewhere. And using of course the fact that he's not there. Interesting, interesting. He looks like he might be getting bold again, sneaking in through there. And apparently also trying to... Oh yes, he's trying to sneak around. The MG42 using the trains. Oh dear.
Supply lines are broken. We have
Yes, there we go. Pulling in, pulling in. MG42 does spot it and does not retreat. Another MG42 sending up. A grenade could be lobbed though. A grenade could be lobbed. Will he do it? Will Bailey's MG42 retreating? And there we go. Grenade on the other one. Riflemen are suppressed. 2 are down and retreating. The center is open for the Americans if they decide so. Flamethrower Pioneers moving in. Grenadiers also supporting some slightly more tougher troops of the 2nd Panzer Division. That is going to make things a bit bloody harder for Mr. Bayliss. Although he's now getting an M8 armored car. Currently there's no Pack 38 for MasterofPlans. In fact, he's gone for 2 Grenadier teams, 2 full Grenadier teams to add to the 3 Volksgrenadiers. That's only going to be quite a bit of infantry fighting power. Most of them, in fact, are right now centered in the east. Engineers caught out in the open. Grenadiers moving in the west in larger force, some with Panzerschrecks. But apparently deciding otherwise to do anything, in fact. Well, the Volksgrenadiers so far seem to be doing most of the actual fighting. A bit disgraceful, actually. And looks like some Pioneers are... What? Apparently nothing. They might have hoped to lay down some mines, but are now getting caught out by the riflemen. But Volksgrenadiers are quick to assist. One rifleman catches on fire. No, Cleveland. Or something like that, I suppose. And another catches on fire. American still holding here. A grenade. Oh, the MG42 sending up. Quick, Baileys. Grenade them. Grenade them. Apparently not. Bit of a waste that. M8 now moving in. All the Volksgrenadiers opening up. Panzerfaust quickly pulled forwards. Doesn't quite fire though. But there we go. M8 hit, but it is equipped with armored skirts. Rifleman. Oh, veterans who won. Oh dear, Baileys. That wasn't very good. Lots of veterans who won. Rifleman team right there. Probably just gained it. In fact, even. M8 standing still and fighting with everything. Rifleman moving in. Could they be getting off another grenade? Flamethrower engineers just need to get out of there. Volksgrenadiers taking fire. And there we go. Grenade on these 3 Volksgrenadiers over here. And they're gone, in fact. Oh dear, but those riflemen, in fact, will also be gone, I fear. Bit too slow to retreat. And another rifleman team down for Baileys. Not looking good for the 2nd Infantry Division all of a sudden. M8 continually providing fire support. And the Volksgrenadiers quickly pull away. Grenadiers moving about in the west. Not entirely sure what they're up to, or were they riflemen? Could have been riflemen. But heavy losses for the 2nd Infantry Division at this stage. And MasterofPlans apparently, despite having already most of the map at this stage, rather figuring, well, you know, this is what happens after 1 month away. I haven't crushed my American opponent within 10 seconds or something like that. I don't know. That is a bit air-reloaded. Very tough in itself. Or at least just a bit of a naughty person in terms of behaving, treating his opponents, I suppose. Flamethrowers moving in against the Pioneers. There we go. Burn them. Burn them, John. And one Pioneer... No, he doesn't actually catch on fire. He just dies from the shock of all the fire being launched at him. In fact, the MG42 also doesn't... Oh my god, there's so many. Run, Heinz, run. But there's only 3. Shut up. M8 getting repaired. Quick counter movement by the false grenadiers, where the grenadiers, most of them seen. Not doing much. In fact, grenadiers getting some Panzer Schrecks again. More Panzer Schrecks. No replacement rifleman. Oh wait, there we are. But no medic station either. Actually, that could have been good for Mr. Bailey's at a much earlier stage.
We're losing territory.
And there we go. Dual Panzer Schreck, dual grenadier teams. Although obviously not in terms of they both had two. That would be a bit of a waste. Grenadiers opening up on the riflemen. Riflemen getting the devil out of there. And it is time for the mid-game analysis. What is the current situation in Milk County? It's looking a bit grim for the Americans. A bit of poor unit preservation situation have rather resulted in some heavy infantry losses. And not quite being able to quite pull it off the same, you know, on MasterofPlans. He's certainly been able to do some, but hasn't quite able to fully pull through. Not quite well-timed grenade in some cases, which rather have cost him grievously. But he still could pull through, of course, with some more aggressive M8 movements. I think he's being a bit too withholding. Perhaps, you know, M8 mines could also help. And the medic station really would have helped him in the longer run. But there we go. On the other hand, you know, doing well for MasterofPlans, has lost one infantry teams, but that's about it. So it couldn't go bad, you know, deciding to get some more armor. Of course, veterancy could also help very much. Or get some stormtroopers or some Stu 42 action on the field. Let's return to the fight. M8 prowling through the center. Panzer Schreck opening up. Misses. Glorious German gunnery. Well, marksmanship with the Panzer Schreck, I suppose. Not the most accurate weapon, really. You had to be rather close, and of course that rather counted for a lot of the earlier, you know, rocket weaponry. That for the infantry, you actually had to be close. It wasn't the most accurate thing ever. M8 opening up on the grenadiers, Panzer Schrecks flying, and a Stu 42 moves in, my goodness. Sturmhaubitze 42, although incorrectly in this case at least mounted on the Stug 4. They've only done on the Stug 3, but of course they had to create a model for the Stug 3, and then of course the bloody question becomes, why make the Stug 4? And I suppose the Stug 4 would just make more sense, partly because, well, you know, they were with the 17th SS on the Western Front there. Plus, of course, they already have the Panzer Force. I suppose it might have been a case of just making things a bit easier, which I don't really blame them. Anyhow, Panzer Schreck actually connects two M8s now on against the one Stu 42. Greyhound sleeping upon the assault howitzer. Grenadiers moving in, ready to cover it with Panzer Schrecks. Blowing holes in some concrete, but not really achieving much otherwise. Looks like the Americans have in fact lost another infantry team. That's not really good. Unless, of course, I've counted wrong and they actually didn't get another, but there we go. Heavy fire being directed against the rifleman. M8's moving about. Oh, wait. No, he's up there. Never mind. Just me not quite aware of the battlefield situation. M8 driving around, being a bit of harassment, being a bit of annoyance. Rifleman getting shot up. No grenades. We're not really actually seeing any further grenades from Bailey's. He seems to have been sort of caught up and decided, well, I don't want to play with grenades. They're silly. Because I can't actually seem to use them properly. At least there seems to be sort of logic here. MG42 hiding. Stu 42 quickly getting repaired by some very brave pioneers. And some engineers trying to lay down some mines right there in the front of the enemy. Perhaps not the most inconspicuous mining done right there. Usually you don't want your opponent to be seeing where you are laying down mines. That's sort of the indication that, oh right, there might be mines there. And of course also might tell them to get a minesweeper. Rifleman sneaking out there on the MG42, but doesn't quite achieve it. Instead they're now left up against a single Stu 42 and several grenadier teams. Heavy losses for the riflemen. Full retreat, only one man left. M8 also pulling back as the Panzer Schreck grenadiers are on the hunt for hounds. And they don't actually quite manage to fire away. And something about one train per something. I don't really speak much French, if any at all. You know, probably sound awfully French, but you know, if I was supposed to read something up, you know, Un train peut un cocher en entre, or something like that. I'm probably sure somewhere there's a Frenchman wincing and crying. Anyways, M8 taken right ahead there by a Panzerfaust. But again, you know, nice amount of detail again, you know, it's not really that often you see it in that many other RTS games, you know, this great detail into making the maps. And of course, other things, it's quite fun to see. Looks like an anti-tank gun has been prepared for the Americans. Wonder what that little thing says. Oh well, I can't seem to keep up. Bit of action right in the center. Still keeping up though. Baileys and the 2nd Infantry Division not giving up. Panzer Command could be on the way for MasterofPlans. Perhaps his plans does involve Panzers. Looks like he's got a howitzer. Oh my goodness. 105mm howitzer. And flanking about here. Oh dear, the anti-tank gun is in a lot of trouble. And most of the Axis forces are elsewhere. Now he lobs a grenade. And there we go, anti-tank crew is very much dead, but the Stu-42 moving in, and the anti-tank gun there is not right there to cover. Americans stealing the Pak-38, Panzerabwehrkanone 38. Not really the primary anti-tank gun at this stage of the war. That was actually the Pak-40. There you go. Pak-40 quite a bit larger and not so quite maneuverable. And would rather have necessitated in some... No, that wouldn't actually necessitate things that could tow anti-tank guns really, but some of the larger caliber anti-tank guns would have. The Pak-40 was sort of the largest that could actually still be manhandled. And there we go. Crew cleared out by the Stu-42, not having those Yankees steal any weight German war materials.
We are losing
Flamethrower pioneers moving straight into the line of fire and losing them. That was a bit wasteful. Stu-42 opening up, and oh my goodness, 5 riflemen dead. That was quite the hideous shot. Not looking good for an American fence. Apparently he's not even using the howitzer. Oh, bother. You know, you usually do try to use them when you're getting stormtroopers now being called in. I mean, again, the sort of trick you might want to use, of course, is basically, you know, press control for, you know, critical control group, and then 5, that's usually my artillery control group. Probably might have helped him a bit, but apparently he has a howitzer and he's not using it. Lots of assault rifles for the stormtroopers, at least the Panzer Grenadiers. Forwards. Cloaking up. Panzer Command is ready, and a Panzer 4 is on the way. M8 moving about. Facing off against Grenadiers and their nasty Panzer Treks. Rather getting suppressed. No veterancy for the Stu-42 though. Barely any veterancy at all. He got the Kampfkraft Center, but he apparently only got the one veterancy for the infantry, and then stopped. Seems a bit wasteful, but there we go. Finally the howitzers blasting with its explosive shells. Gloriously missing the Germans, the Krauts. Huge plumes of dirt and smoke. Finally killing something. But the Wehrmacht have been killing quite a lot for quite some time. A grenade on the Grenadiers. Grenadiers grenading the riflemen. With the engagement, the riflemen won. And there we go. Stormtrooper assault from the flank. Clearing up the anti-tank gun in seconds with their assault rifles. And the riflemen with the BARs probably might be the next target. And there we go. The forces of Baileys have been forced off the field. Panzer Kampfwagen 4 is ready. Stormtroopers moving about there, and finally he's getting a medic station, but again at this stage it's probably a bit too late and he doesn't quite have the infantry to actually keep up with it. Seems a bit wasteful to me. M8 moving in on the Stormtroopers. Panzer 4 moving about in the west, or the east I mean. Opening up on some engineers, hoping to get those with its high explosive shells. In fact, it forces them back. M8 moving through the center. Anti-tank gun recruit. Anti-tank gun number 2 also recruit, but almost close to getting cleared out by the Stu-42.
Ground out there.
And there we go. cleared out. This is looking pretty bad for Bailey's and the 2nd Infantry Division. Probably game over at this stage. But he's not giving up, he's pushing on. Panzer IV heroically stands around doing nothing in the east. Could be pulled towards the west and finish things off there. Take the last victory point. Artillery being fired. Could it be for another offensive? Bombarding the Wehrmacht base, killing a few. 2nd Panzer IV ready. Stormtroopers, Grenadiers moving out.
What are my coordinates?
Rifle squad has the objective.
Speeding up things a bit. MG42 under quite a bit of fire.
Up the ante. Production is now at double time.
And looks like the 2nd Panzer Division is getting ready for an assault. Panzers moving up, stormtroopers sneaking in, infiltrating in behind enemy positions. This could be it. Another M8 ready. Not really much of a match against the Panzer force. Should have gotten more anti-tank guns. Now he actually tries to recruit it, but it's too late, and he uses his rifleman just as the stormtroopers uncloak, allowing for easy clearance. Panzer force moving in. Pack 38 finally says no more and blows up. The assault continues. The 2nd Panzer Division is unstoppable. Bundle grenade on the anti-tank gun. And kaboom, no more. Allowing for the rest of the armored forces to move in. Push onwards. If they so desire. Goliath hiding actually. Stu 42 now getting repairs. Interesting. Panzer force on the march. Anti-tank gun recruit. But of course 1 Panzer force just flanks about. There we go, anti-tank gun is no more.
Upgrade complete.
And Goliath leaving fort, not really getting anywhere. And looks like this could be about it. Artillery flying, killing a few troops, but nothing more, and there we go, game over. Victory for the 2nd Panzer Division. And of course, what can we learn from this? Well, again, unit preservation really seemed to be the huge thing. He much too quickly lost some infantry. He had no way of really keeping them going. Like say a medic station, bit of a problem there. He got grenades, but he didn't quite get the full, value out of them, I fear. Plus he lost that first veteran unit he got rather quickly, not good at all. And he probably also hung about a bit too much in M8s before actually getting anything, and he probably shouldn't have gone for artillery, but might have done better if he'd gone for rangers and perhaps the off-map combat group in this case. Actually, that's my opinion, particularly since he didn't really get much use out of that Howard. He sort of forgot it for quite a bit of a while. Not good. But good job on the other hand from MasterofPlans. Good aggression, good moves. Although he could have done a bit more with the veterans, I suppose. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.